What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Friday edition of the Pandemic Update for Friday, August 25th, 2023. Starting off today with a news story out of China. This is from NBC News. China had almost 2 million, that's right, 2 million excess deaths after the end of the zero COVID U.S. study finds. The number contradicts official figures from Beijing, which has been accused of underplaying the impact of COVID being unleashed on its population. And this kind of just confirms something that many people have been suspecting, that China's numbers were probably a lot higher than we ever knew. And here you go. A study finds that there could have been 2 million in excess deaths. Look for this on Twitter, and I'll probably post this on my website as well so you can see this. We're not going to read through the whole thing. All right, going on to this now. I thought this was very interesting. Look at this. This is from New York, NYC Healthy. This is the health department in New York City. And look at this. Let's read this to you. COVID-19 cases have been increasing in New York City. We know that. Consider wearing a mask, especially in crowded indoor settings, and particularly if you are over 65 or have a medical condition that puts you at risk for severe COVID or are around others who are. Now, I get it. New York City, yeah, it's one of the most populated cities in the United States. So, I mean, the chances are that you're in a crowded area. I'll give you a prime example. Times Square, Manhattan, all these different areas. I mean, yes, you're going to be in crowded areas. Coney Island, there's another example. So, I mean, it's kind of hard not to be in a crowded area in New York City. It should just say everywhere, but hey, the fact they are mentioning wearing a mask again, that's pretty big time. They know, hey, this is pretty serious, because we see the hospitalizations in New York State and New York City. They are on the rise. We'll get to today's data from New York City in just a little bit. All right, remember last week, Bruce Springsteen was supposed to come to my town to do 2 shows. In fact, there were already people down there tailgating, waiting for him. And then we found out, oh, Bruce Springsteen is sick. With what we don't know, well, guess what? He has returned. He made it up to Gillette Stadium. He's back performing again. Now, it wasn't an all-night long thing. And yes, I'm taking that from this article. But the point is, Bruce Springsteen returned, and he did go for a solid, it says here, a solid 2 hours and 50 minutes. That's crazy. Just last week he was sick and ill, and now all of a sudden, yep, right back at it. So, I mean, he doesn't give himself enough rest, does he? Ugh, not good. I wonder how long until he's going to get sick again, unfortunately. Taking a look at this. We're going to look at this twice. First time being today, second time being on our next pandemic update. I don't know if that's going to be tomorrow or Sunday, because tomorrow we're doing a big Who Is data report. Yeah, we're doing that tomorrow. So that may be in place of a pandemic update. Haven't decided yet. Just see how much news there is. But, anywho, I did this poll question last night. Who knows someone who got sick at a concert? If yes, tell us which concert down below. And this is really close, so we're going to have to watch this right up to the end of the voting time. There's 8 hours left. 48.5% say yes. 51.5% say no. So this is really, if you think about it, I've done several polls since starting these pandemic updates. I think this is the closest one I've ever had. So right now, no is ahead at 51.5%. And hey, there's 790 votes here with 8 hours left, so I mean, who knows? It could shift towards yes. Either way, it's very close, and with 790 votes, that's a lot of people that know someone that got sick going to a concert. And probably the most popular one that's on here, which originally I was just going to say who got sick at Taylor Swift, but then I started thinking, no, people go to other concerts too, though. Taylor Swift getting sick, that's been a thing lately, and you'll see more on that in just a moment. I think I have it queued up here somewhere. But taking a look at this, you can see here, multiple indoor-outdoor concerts. There's a whole bunch of different ones here. A Mexican music band someone went to. Their nephew did. They got sick. Someone says, My Chemical Romance. Ooh, that was a popular band back in the 2000s. And it just goes on here. Rolling Loud Festival in Miami 2022. But the most common one, I think, here, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. It just goes on and on. Lord Huron. I guess someone got sick there. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. You get the point. People got sick going to concerts. And like I said, we will revisit this again. Let's refresh this. See if there's any more votes. No, not at the moment, but we will revisit this again on the next pandemic update to see what the final score is here. If I had to guess, it's probably going to remain close like this. Will it flip over to yes? I don't know. But here it is. This is what I wanted to show you. So who remembers Savannah Guthrie? Who here watches the Today Show? This is something that started well over a year ago. Here we go again. Look who's, I did not even put it right in the tweet. Look who's sick yet again. I had thought she had COVID twice. And then last night I read a comment and then looked up a couple articles and said, wait a second. No, she's had COVID 3 times that we know of so far. And I say that for a reason. Because she is sick again. She was out on vacation, I guess, spending some time with some family or whatnot. And she went to a Taylor Swift concert. Speaking of getting sick at concerts, it's kind of a theme today in today's edition of the Pandemic Update. Guess what? She was back for one day, then was out. Boom, sick again. Doesn't say what she's sick with, but we just know that at this time she is sick. So, you know, we've made mentions in the past. COVID can destroy immunity. You know, I probably should have loaded that up today, put that up there, because we've done this in the past where people have been sick many of times, and then we showed a reference that hey, COVID can affect your immunity. I think this is a good case of where that has likely happened because she's had COVID 3 times. Here she is sick again. The last example that I remember us giving was Bruce Springsteen last week. So, I mean, this just goes to show you that it definitely can have an impact on your immunity. All right. Remember this BA 2.86 variant that everyone is so, interested in? Well, here's the latest numbers on that from BNO. Looks like there was another case added in Denmark. There's now 4 total cases in Denmark. United States of America, 3 cases. South Africa, 2 cases. Israel, 1 case. Switzerland, 1 case. Thailand, 1 case. And the United Kingdom, 1 case. And the total number is now 13. All right, let's take a look at air quality. There's a reason why we were zoomed down in on Louisiana. There was actually a pretty big fire down in Louisiana this morning. I was looking to see if we would see any bad air qualities down there. It's slightly poor, but not as bad as I would have expected to see. BNO tweeted out about there being a humongous fire. The smoke was just pouring into the air. And maybe there's not enough air quality detection monitoring sites there. I don't know, but apparently it's not all that bad there. I would have expected to have seen worse. And we see generally, orange in the south. It's generally poor. Not too bad in the northeast. A little bit of a tiny concern along the I-95 corridor. The worst portion in the country continues to be the northwest, where we see the most amount of concentrated orange sites at this time. And then this, yeah, from about Northern California, even Central California, all the way up through Oregon and Washington, it just continues to be just really bad because of wildfire smoke. It's just really bad, and that has made its way up into Canada, so that is not good to see. We do have another channel where we talk about climate and weather. We do talk a little bit about climate change. We talk a little bit about active weather. I think I'm going to release just a short video, just a 2 to 4 minute update here in a little bit on the tropics, because there is now a tropic threat that is starting to emerge, and it looks like it's going to take shape in the Gulf next week. Could hit somewhere in the Gulf Coast. The NHC has now upped the probabilities of it to code red, which is now I think 70%. So we'll have to take a look at that. We'll do a little update on that with the modeling later on after I release this pandemic update. All right, Walgreens national positivity 44.9%. Prior week was 44.1%. Up 0.9% total test. 4,001. Prior week was 3,541. Let's take a look at BioBot analytics for wastewater. As noted yesterday, some slight improvement. The South has dropped slightly. The Great Lakes have dropped slightly. Kind of a leveling going off in the Northeast, and still a slight rise in the West Coast. We'll have to see if that holds. If all this holds, it would be some good news. But I do have to share you this. Got to move myself to the left now for the next few things that I'm going to show you. On here, this is the CDC, um, wastewater. Let's refresh this. I'm not certain that this is actually today's update, but it doesn't matter because it's still bad either way. 253 sites are now in the orange. 80 to 100% are now at 70 sites. That's bad. That's a lot of sites that are at moderate to high levels. I mean, orange 60 to 79%. That's over 50 cents. So that is moderate to high, and then really high at 80%. That's not good. And you can see there's a high concentration of them in the east. We're going to have our wastewater update on Sunday. We may start to make a little change in how we do that. Here's what I mean by that. We now have to take a look at wastewater scan. We may start to incorporate more of these sites because we're going to start to pay closer attention for flu now. Because yes, unfortunately, there is an early flu season that's coming. Before I show you this, let me just skip right over to flu. I do have to show you this. You can see now, normally we would show this at the end of the video, but today I think it warrants that we show it now. Georgia has now moved up to this yellowish color, as has Mississippi. So you can see we're right up to here. It's the first shade of yellow. And that's an indication that, hey, yes, it's starting to rise. Now we're just seeing this for 1 week, but something we have to start to pay attention to. And remember yesterday, we did show a wastewater site in New Jersey. New Jersey is still green minimal on here, but there was a site close to New York City that was saying, hey, flu detection that's starting to rise a little bit. So it's something we have to pay attention to. Last year, the flu season started early. I'm going to do some research on Australia to see how their flu season went. Did we report on that earlier? I don't remember. But usually if they have a bad flu season, translates to a bad flu season here. It's a good indicator of what's going to happen. But hey, we do have our first shades of yellow. And hey, it's not even September yet. So this is relatively early. You can see once again, Mississippi and Georgia are now low. And which low means it's just a step above minimal. Florida is now in the second shade, or excuse me, third shade of minimal. So that's not good. It's starting to rise there. It's also starting to rise in New Mexico. And of course, New York City is also in a now in the first shade of low as well. So that's something we're going to have to pay attention to as well. Let's take a look at a couple of these wastewater scan dashboard sites. Here's Tallahassee. It's a fairly new site. Florida has quite a few new sites, which that's impressive because, hello, it's Florida. And you can see here, unfortunately, the overall trajectory is upward for COVID. Influenza not detected yet. RSV was being detected late July into early August. Now it's down to 0. HMPV is at 0. Mpox not detected, but whoa, look at this. Tallahassee is seeing a big increase right now with norovirus. That's not good. It was down to 3,957. Number was the level here, and wow, now it's almost up to, on this chart, it's almost up to 20,000 detection. That's not good whatsoever. Let's do another wastewater site. Do we want to stay in the south? Can we do one over in Mississippi? No, we can't. Mississippi, come on. You need to get your act together. You need more wastewater sites. You need to get on the scan board as well because we want to see what's going on there. And let's go up here to Chattanooga, Tennessee. What's going on there? RSV, not an issue. It was earlier in the summer. HMPV, not an issue. Mpox, not an issue. Norovirus is dropping. COVID did rise. Then it dropped a lot. Then it rose a little again. Now it's dropping. Influenza is not an issue. No Mpox as well. So there's 2 wastewater scan sites for today. ER visits, most of the country it's up. The only good news is Vermont and New Hampshire are down. Slightly down in Vermont. Substantially down in New Hampshire. States that are flat, New York, Florida, and Montana. The rest, yeah, upward. Not good to see. All right, we do have nothing in pandemic history today. EG.5 leading the way at 20.6% for variants. And the second variant is that FL 1.5.1, 13.3. So those are the 2 variants that are driving the wave here in the United States right now. XBB 1.16 is to some degree, but it's at 10.7%. The other 2 variants are higher. I don't know if FL 1.5.1 will ever pass EG.5. I don't know, but eventually here, at some point we will see BA 2.86 will eventually show up in this data. And we also today want to take a look at Chicago. Chicago hospitalizations, daily average is up by 11. Hospital beds in use, that's up by 1%. Emergency room visits is up by 1.2%. Deaths did not rise, they dropped a little bit. The daily case average is now 119. That's up in Chicago. That was 98 the prior week. And vaccinations administered, that's 249 daily. I guess that's a good thing. All right, moving on to New Jersey now. Some more good news. New Jersey hospitalizations dropped again. They're down to 292 now. But 3 hospitals did not report. See, it's here. It says 67 out of 70. On ventilator, 6. In the ICU, 26. And let's take a look at discharges. 48 discharges again. So that's a good number of people discharged. That's something we'd like to see. And now let's come over here to Philadelphia yesterday. Something else we'd like to see. My city was below 800 yesterday. A little higher, but still below 800. 744 EMS incidents. If I had to guess for today, which I don't know if this will be an accurate guess or not, the suburbs have been pretty busy today, all the times I've been looking. Let's do a live look in now. Not as bad in Montgomery County right now as it was about an hour ago. Chester County, for some reason, and I can show that to you right here. Actually, no, I can't show that to you. Just before we went on and started recording, there was about 15 incidents lined up in Chester County. And that was like that for multiple hours today. Montgomery County, what I'm referring to, is about 9:30 this morning. They had 17 incidents. A lot of them said respiratory. That's the call that I don't like to see the most. Obviously, I mean stroke or cardiac arrest, that's worse. But respiratory, you have to wonder. COVID concerns with that? Who knows? So, yeah, it's good to see this is less busy than it was earlier. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe Philadelphia won't come in higher tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, let's refresh this. We haven't looked at this in a few days. We do need to look at this. This is the diversion statuses for hospitals down in Maryland. You can see there's some yellow alerts. There's some red alerts. Yellow's not good. Red's not good. Reroute, that means bypass a hospital altogether. And then we can take a look at the various different regions here. Here's region 1, 2, and IV. And look at this. This is not good either. There's a few yellow and reds even in that area. And then region V, did we show region V? Yes, we did. We want to see, here's region 3. And, yeah, wow, a lot of red and yellow showing up here. Alrighty, moving myself back to the right, let's just do New York State, and then we have to do California. California did update today. I think we'll skip international update for today. Positive cases, we have 1,378, not including at-homes, people that don't get tested, or for whatever reason, reinfections. I always say this. I don't know why they just don't include that in the same number now. There's this many people that are still first-time PCR testing positive. Yep, that's true. The positivity rate, this is not good. 15.2%. And test positivity rate, 7-day average, is 14.4%. Now let's take a look at hospitalizations in New York State. Yes, they're roughly about the same today. It dropped by 1,052 people in the hospital. In the ICU, it's 112. And then when we take a look at New York City, yes, it's going to refresh. We'll have to do this twice. Here comes New York City. New York City, here's the number for today. Yes, finally. And you can see here that the overall trend has been up, but today it is down ever so slightly. 476 patients in ICU is at 53, and let's just take a look at admissions in New York City. You can see the overall trend there continues to be up. How about Long Island? Long Island has been concerning lately. A slight drop to end the week, but Long Island hospitalizations, let's see, did that drop today? Yes, it did drop slightly. 194 in the hospital, 28 in the ICU. That is lower than yesterday's 201. We'll take any bit of good news we can get. We saw Ohio yesterday. Here's Ohio again. 5,361 new cases this week. 111 people hospitalized. I think that's the number of people added to the hospital. Again, they just do this total hospitalization number. Some states do that. I don't know why they don't show an active total. ICU admission change 2, deaths 16. Alrighty, taking a look here. Drum roll please, California. Look at these charts. Up for admissions. Deaths are not rising yet. That's the last That's the last lagging indicator. But daily hospital admissions average 336. And you can see here, this week compared to the prior week, it did make a pretty big shift upwards. Taking a look at this now. Test positivity. I think it was 11.8% last week. It's now at 13.2% this week. It's slightly down, or at least it's showing it's slightly down. But that's they're doing a positivity from June 19th through to August 13th. I don't know why it's slightly down. Last week's number was 11.8% or something like that. This week is 13.2%. That is up, and the overall trend, the trajectory here, is up. So that's not good to see California up. Alrighty, folks, we're heading into a weekend. More risky activities happen over the weekend. Baby showers, bridal showers, weddings, gatherings. Oh, it's so-and-so's 75th birthday. And I'm sure I'll see these on the news this weekend. So-and-so turned 100 years old. And 100 people showed up to cut the cake and sing happy birthday, and they're all maskless. That stuff's going to, it's going to happen this weekend. Please, if you're someone that has to attend one of these functions, mask up. It's not that hard to do. It's easy to do. It's safe. It's effective. Although, when you're one-way masking, it's not as effective. I always forget to leave that out. So, just be wise. Make smart decisions this weekend. Tomorrow, we're going to have the Who Is Data Report video. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. I don't think we're going to do a pandemic update tomorrow. We'll probably end up doing what we did last week, or something like that, where we do the wastewater videos Sunday morning, and then maybe a pandemic update Sunday afternoon if there's enough news and data. And last week there was, so I'm assuming by not doing a pandemic update tomorrow, at least I don't think we will. Stay tuned. That could change tomorrow. If there's enough data, we'll do one on Sunday, and then the normal schedule next week. Alrighty, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, or you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone that needs to hear this information, see the data, see my opinion, see the news, whatever, by all means, share this with them. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until I see you all again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic weekend.